Hey friends, it's Pastor Bryant from Park Methodist in Hamilton, and I want to extend an invitation to you to imagine no racism with me. Racism, as we all know, continues to infect our society today. It is sin, and it is something as Christians we are called to combat and ultimately to overcome, not only in our hearts, but in this world and in our backyards especially. In the past few months, I have called for our churches to work together more collaboratively. And while my heart was in a place of mission in the sense of doing Christ work for those most in need, it has come to our attention in such a painful way that racism is affecting us down to the core of who we are. Imagine No Racism is a curriculum based in 8 parts, an 8-part curriculum that was developed by United Methodists in the Upper New York Annual Conference in collaboration with the General Council on Religion and Race, or what we just call GCOR, made up of persons from all over the globe. Imagine No Racism is designed to teach us at 3 different entry levels, depending on our experience, how racism still functions today and what steps we can take to interrupt racism when we encounter it. There are many of us that might be in different places when we enter these conversations. And for that reason, the curriculum has different entry points. If you're someone who finds that we are still talking about race in the news and you're confused as to why, or maybe you just don't really even know where to start, like I thought we had solved this a long time ago, or maybe you've never really engaged with this work whatsoever, like it's something that you've encountered before, but maybe have never really taken much time to think about, evaluate, read about, learn about. You would be what we call an introductory member of this curriculum. And there are avenues in the curriculum that will help you learn some of the basics of what we are dealing with here. When I first started this work and I first encountered this curriculum, I was in the category which we call What's Next. If you're in the what's next category, it's sort of like, yes, I know that racism is a problem, and I sort of have a basic understanding, sort of functioning definitions on things like implicit bias or white privilege, but I'm not quite sure what to do next. If you're in the what's next category, we will equip you with tools so that you can interrupt racism in your daily life, in the life of your church, in your community, or at your workplace, and even well beyond that. The final category is what we call the veterans. If you are a veteran, you are someone who has been involved in anti-racist work firsthand. Maybe you've led discussions or workshops or even classes about this topic. Maybe you've been involved passionately with this work for many years. Or maybe you yourself are a person of color who, by the very nature of being a person of color, are sort of an expert in this. You have a lived reality that many of us are not even aware of. And so if you fall into the veteran category, the curriculum provides opportunities to figure out what next steps might be, how we might be leaders in our communities and in the places that we love to defeat racism and interrupt it and overcome it. Friends, we are partners in Christ. We have done great things before, and I believe God is calling us to even greater things still. I'm sure, or at least I hope, that in your church you're doing some kind of book study or some kind of exploration to combat racism and learn more about it. But I'd like to invite all of you to take part in this course. It is an 8-part course that we'd like to start in July. We'll do it over Zoom, and it is an opportunity for us to really hit the ground running. It is intense work. It is emotional work. But we know from the rest of our lives that sometimes the most important parts of the life experience, things like marriage or raising children, things like overcoming those hardest moments in our life, nothing comes easy when it's important. This is important work. And as the people of Christ, as God's children, we are called to make a difference in this world. If you'd like to be part of this curriculum, I will be teaching it as the facilitator. It is a Bible-based, scriptural-based, devotion-based curriculum, and it will connect our Christianity and our core beliefs as Christian persons to this work as we learn more about it. If you'd like to be part of it, I would encourage you to reach out to me through my email, which is Bryant, B-R-Y-A-N-T, Bryant Christopher Clark, C-L-A-R-K, Bryant Christopher Clark at gmail.com. Or if you would like to give your name to your minister, your pastor, your priest, and they can send your information to me. We will be setting these up over the next couple weeks to start in July. Friends, know that you are in my prayers. Know that we are partners in this journey and that our work has only just begun with Christ on our side. May it be so. Amen.